The woman sitting at my desk wasn't supposed to be there. At exactly 8:17 that morning, sunlight spilled through the tall glass windows of Halcyon Media Group, painting golden lines across the polished office floor while employees rushed past carrying coffee cups and laptops like every ordinary Tuesday. But nothing felt ordinary the moment I saw her. She sat in my chair with both hands folded tightly in her lap, staring at the family photo beside my monitor like it held secrets only she could understand. Her dark blazer was wrinkled, her mascara slightly smeared, and for the first time in the 3 years I had known her, Serena Vale looked afraid. Truly afraid. This was the same Serena who had beaten me in 2 major campaigns, challenged every proposal I ever made, and turned our rivalry into the kind of silent office war everyone whispered about during lunch breaks. She was sharp, ruthless, ambitious, and impossible to read. But that morning, when she slowly lifted her eyes toward me, there was no arrogance left in them. Only exhaustion. Then she quietly said the words that made my stomach tighten. "Let's talk in private. Before we continue, if you believe people deserve kindness and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to LifeLine Vibes. Your support helps emotional stories like this reach more hearts around the world." I remember the strange silence that filled the room after she spoke. Outside my office, keyboards clicked, printers hummed, phones rang endlessly, yet somehow all of it sounded distant. Serena stood slowly from my chair while I closed the glass door behind me. Something inside me warned that whatever she was about to say would change everything. For years, Serena had been my biggest professional rival. I was the creative director everyone called dependable, while she was the fearless strategist executives adored because she produced results no matter the cost. We competed for promotions, clients, recognition, and respect. If I presented an idea in meetings, she tore it apart with brutal precision. If she launched a campaign, I spent sleepless nights trying to outperform it. People at the office loved comparing us. Some even placed bets on who would become vice president first. It became toxic over time, but neither of us admitted it. Pride is dangerous like that. It convinces people they're fighting for success when really they're just afraid of losing. I placed my bag beside the desk and looked at her carefully. She looked thinner than usual. Pale. Her hands trembled slightly. For a moment, I wondered if this was another game. Another manipulation. Serena had always been unpredictable. But then I noticed the envelope in her hand. It was creased from being held too tightly. She slid it toward me without speaking. Inside were medical bills, prescription records, and a hospital discharge form carrying the name of her younger brother, Adrian Vale. The amount due at the bottom nearly made me stop breathing. $78,000. I looked up slowly. Serena turned away toward the window before finally speaking again, her voice fragile in a way I had never heard before. She explained that her brother had collapsed 2 months earlier from severe kidney failure. Their parents had died years ago, leaving Serena to raise Adrian alone while building her career. She had hidden everything from everyone at work because she feared pity more than anything. Then came the sentence that shattered every opinion I had formed about her. "The promotion they're giving next week," she whispered, "I need it to keep him alive." I stood frozen beside the desk. For months, the entire executive floor had been preparing for the announcement of the company's newest vice president. Everyone assumed it would either be Serena or me. The competition had consumed us both. Long hours. Sacrificed weekends. Endless stress. And now suddenly the rivalry I hated so much no longer felt like a competition. It felt like survival. Serena finally turned toward me, and tears filled her eyes despite how hard she fought them back. She admitted she had overheard executives discussing budget cuts. Only one of us would move forward. The other would likely remain stuck for years. She said she didn't know who else to ask anymore. Her savings were gone. Insurance had failed them. Adrian's condition was worsening. Then came the part one never expected. She apologized. Not casually. Not politely. Deeply. She admitted she had sabotaged my presentation months earlier by withholding important market data before a major pitch. She confessed that she spread rumors suggesting I lacked leadership skills because she feared I was better suited for the promotion. Every cruel thing she had done came spilling out like poison, finally leaving a wound. And somehow, instead of anger, I only felt sadness. Because the woman standing before me didn't look victorious anymore. She looked broken. The rest of that day became impossible to focus on. During meetings, I kept hearing her voice in my mind. I kept imagining her sitting beside a hospital bed alone while pretending to be invincible during office hours. That evening, I drove home through heavy afternoon traffic beneath a blazing orange sky, but instead of relief, my chest carried a weight I couldn't shake. My apartment felt emptier than usual. The silence echoed too loudly. I stared at the framed photograph of my own older sister hanging near the kitchen. 5 years earlier, cancer had taken her after we failed to afford experimental treatment in time. I still remembered watching hospital machines blink while helplessness consumed every part of me. That memory never really leaves you. And suddenly Serena no longer looked like my enemy. She looked like someone drowning quietly while everyone applauded her strength. The next morning at work, the atmosphere grew more intense as rumors spread that the promotion announcement would happen Friday afternoon. Employees whispered constantly. People analyzed every executive interaction like sports commentators studying a championship game. Serena avoided eye contact with me all day. Then around noon, I noticed something unusual. She nearly collapsed while walking toward the conference room. I caught her arm before she hit the floor. Her body felt frighteningly weak. She tried pulling away immediately, embarrassed by the attention, but I insisted on taking her outside for air. We sat on a bench across the street while sunlight poured over the city sidewalks and traffic roared around us. That was the first time she truly opened up. She spoke about raising Adrian after their parents died in a highway accident. She described working 3 jobs during college while helping him with homework at night. She admitted ambition became her armor because weakness scared her. Success felt like the only thing protecting them from losing everything again. Listening to her changed something inside me. I realized how little we actually know about the people we judge every day. Some carry storms behind polished smiles. Some are surviving battles invisible to everyone around them. Over the next few days, our strange truce slowly became friendship. Quiet friendship. Careful friendship. We still argued in meetings out of habit, but now there was understanding beneath it. Then Friday arrived. The entire office buzzed with anticipation from the moment employees walked through the doors. Executives prepared the conference hall while assistants rushed around carrying folders and bottled water. I remember looking at Serena across the room before the announcement began. She looked calm on the outside, but her fingers kept trembling. And in that moment, I made a decision that terrified me. When the CEO stepped onto the stage and began praising both finalists, I already knew what I had to do. The speech lasted forever. Every second stretched painfully. Finally, the CEO smiled proudly and announced my name as the new vice president of Halcyon Media Group. Applause exploded around the room. But instead of relief, I felt Serena's heartbreak before I even looked at her. She lowered her eyes immediately, trying not to cry in front of hundreds of coworkers. And that's when I stood up. The room slowly quieted as I walked toward the stage. My heartbeat pounded so hard I thought I might collapse. Then I took the microphone. I thanked the executives for believing in me. I thanked my team. But before sitting down, I told them there was something they deserved to know. I explained that leadership wasn't about defeating people. It was about understanding them. I admitted that competition had blinded all of us from recognizing the humanity standing beside us every day. Then, in front of the entire company, I recommended Serena for the position instead. The silence afterward felt endless. Some executives looked shocked. Others confused. A few employees even gasped out loud. But I continued speaking anyway. I said Serena possessed resilience, intelligence, and determination beyond anything I had witnessed. I said the company needed leaders who fought through impossible circumstances without giving up. Serena stared at me with tears running down her face openly now. She looked completely shattered by what was happening. The CEO pulled me aside afterward, clearly stunned, but after a long private discussion with senior leadership, something extraordinary happened. Instead of choosing between us, the company created a second executive role. They promoted both of us. The office erupted with applause again, but this time it felt different. Warmer. Human. Weeks later, Serena's brother finally received the surgery he desperately needed. Recovery was slow, but hopeful. For the first time in years, Serena stopped looking over her shoulder like life was hunting her. And strangely, our rivalry transformed into partnership. Together, we rebuilt failing departments, launched successful campaigns, and created mentorship programs for struggling young employees inside the company. But the biggest change wasn't professional. It was personal. One evening months later, Serena and I sat on the rooftop terrace after work watching the city glow beneath the fading daylight. She admitted she once hated me because I reminded her of the person she wished she could be before life hardened her. And I admitted I envied her fearlessness because grief had made me emotionally distant for years. Sometimes the people we fight the hardest are mirrors reflecting the pain we refuse to face ourselves. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, and share this video with someone who still believes kindness can change lives. And don't forget to subscribe to LifeLine Vibes for more emotional and inspiring stories that remind us all to never lose hope in humanity. And now, before this story ends, I have one special request for you. Comment below, kindness always comes back.